What is up, you guys? It's your boy Tony T. Time West, man. Back at it again with another episode of the Cam and T Podcast. I am your host, Tony T. Time West, and then we have our other host here, Cam. Cam, what's going on, man?
You. What's
What's
good?
going on, bro? How you doing?
I'm good, bro. Just chilling, man. Chilling. Just
Good.
I'm hanging in there, bro. Can't complain. Can't complain. It's cold. It's
Yeah,
cold though.
yeah,
It's cold. But
it's
I'm
very
good,
cold,
bro.
bro.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, man. Same here, bro. It's really cold this morning. I don't know about on your side of town, but we had like some black ice situations over here on the north side. Like it was a lot of black ice. Like I was actually supposed to go into the office today, and they pretty much was like, nah, because of the weather conditions, like don't come in
Yeah.
type. So I was like, all right, bet I'll just work from home. So that worked out
Black
perfect.
ice.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like black ice on my side of town, at least, and where my office was, because it rained this morning and it was under like 30 degrees. It was like 20 something degrees here. So it was a lot of
Yeah.
black ice on the ground, like on my side of town and like on the north side. So yeah, they told us not to come in the
What?
office. Yeah, bro. It was crazy. Yeah. But anyway, let's jump into the episode tonight, man. It's gonna be a good one, man. Y'all, we got a lot to talk about because last week when we signed off, Bill Belichick was still the coach at New England. Nick Saban was still the coach at Alabama. Kellen DeBoer was still the coach at Washington. The Cowboys and the Eagles were very much alive in the playoffs, and now none of that stuff exists at this point. So we got a lot to catch up on right now, man. Obviously, if you're in the comments, man, go ahead and we like to interact with the people in here, man. So we appreciate y'all's love and support. If you can retweet this, share this to your friends and family, and let's just have a good time and kick it tonight. But tonight's gonna be a fun episode, Cam. We got a lot going on tonight, so let's start off with the playoff games, Cam. Let's go and start off with that. Playoffs started this weekend in the NFL. And we'll kind of go in chronological order of the games that were played. So the first game we're going to talk about are the Houston Texans knocking off the Browns. They just played each other, I think, Christmas Eve, and the Browns beat them. This just shows you how
Mm-hmm.
hard it is to beat a team twice, especially in close proximity. They beat those guys 45-14. So the Joe Flacco insanity run is Joever. Um,
Jover.
yeah, it was Jover pretty quick too as well. Um, uh, I hate to do this. I know as a Panther fan, Panther fans don't want to hear this. He's a different breed. 16 for 21, 274 yards, 3 touchdowns. Devin Singletary had a really good game too. 13 carries for 66 yards, 1 touchdown. Nico Collins continues to show up every single week, and it's crazy because, like I talked about before on this podcast, Nico Collins was like almost a roster cut before this season. Like he was barely making the team. Now he's became this pivotal piece in that offense. He's 6 receptions for 96 yards and a touchdown. Brevin Jordan had a big game too as well with that one catch that was 4 touchdowns for 76 yards. And Houston just dominated, man, all night. So Cam, how did you feel about this game, the Texans against Cleveland? How do you feel about CJ Stroud? Just tell me how you feel about the game in general.
So I tell you what, I wasn't expecting that. A
Yeah,
blowout. You know. Man, it's kind of, I'll be honest with you, the Houston Texans are super scary, bro.
yeah.
Like, me, my Ravens, they coming up on my Ravens next week, and I'm just like, man, I don't know about this one, y'all. Y'all gonna have to play y'all A game because these boys ain't playing around. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Stroud he ain't no joke, man. He really ain't no joke. I think first and foremost, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. This is probably the best rookie quarterback season we've ever seen. I'm not gonna hold back on it. Cam had a great season. Luck and RG3 had a great season. But I think CJ Stroud got it in the bag because he's done everything that they've done pretty much, and now he's won a playoff game, and he's 2 games away from a Super Bowl now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy to even think that. And I'll be completely real with you about the Texans. D'Amico Ryan said it best. They go as far as they want to go. I think they're just as good as every other team in the playoffs right now. And the fact that they smoked the number one defense in the NFL to a lot of to a lot of people in the Cleveland Browns, I mean, that was incredible, man. Stroud, as far as the game went, yes, or on over the weekend, I feel like he played great, but the offense was just clicking in a way that they were calling like passes that were really easy for him to complete. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Um and they made it easy for him. You feel me? Like you said, Nico Collins has had a tremendous season. I don't did he make the all pro team? I don't think he made
No, he
I don't
didn't.
know.
I
And
don't think he
see,
did.
I know he didn't make first team. I would have I think second team would have been a nice fit for him though, because he's had a great season. He really has. And then that defense is so super young and they're just super talented. You know what I'm saying? And so for them to put up 45 on the Cleveland Browns, and I believe how was it, a pick 12? It was two pick sixes, right? Back to back
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
from Flacco.
Yep.
I mean, that was just amazing, an amazing performance by the Houston Texans. To be honest, I think it was the most I think it's the most impressive performance over the weekend, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I agree. I 100% agree. I think the Packers could be make an argument for that as well. Um, I'm just gonna go out and say it. I think CJ Stroud's the best rookie quarterback we've ever seen. I mean, honestly, and this is not me being in the moment. I think I said this before on this
You
podcast that
did.
I feel like CJ Stroud is having the best rookie season I've ever seen. Over Luck, over Cam. None of those guys won a playoff game in the rookie year. None of them. Um, I just think CJ Stroud is different, and he did this against the number one defense in the NFL by far. This is not a defense that it was like, oh, it's a close number one. No, this was the best defense in the NFL, and he put up 45.
Mm-hmm.
You got to give this guy credit. I think you got to give Slowick, their OC, which I would love to see in that process, blue and black. Uh, I think you got to give him some credit as well, their OC. You got to give D'Amico Ryan some credit for letting his OC cook, letting him do him, not trying to be overbearing, letting the OC do his job. I think it's really awesome to see what CJ Stroud is doing. I think he's tremendous. I think he's probably the best rookie quarterback I've ever seen, and I think he's a top 10 quarterback already in this league after year one, honestly. And I think Houston's future is very bright, and they should be very excited about their future going forward. If you're a Houston Texans fan, you should be smiling from ear to ear because you're about to be relevant for the next 10 to 12 years. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, that's where you're heading with Will Anderson, who's also having a great season as well. It's not talked about as much because he's on the defense side of the ball. The Houston Texans are set up for success for the next 10 years. I mean, that's just what it is. So if you're a Texans fan, you should be extremely happy, extremely excited. And yeah, man, I'm kind of with you, man. I think that the future is bright for them and for CJ Stroud as well. I think the future is bright. So I'm excited to see how they do down there in Houston. Next
Yeah.
up, go ahead. My bad.
No, I was just gonna say that's an easy team to root for too.
Yeah,
A really
absolutely.
easy team to root for.
Absolutely.
I'll be honest. I'm gonna go ahead and say it now before we move on. It's gonna be a sad day when Twitter, Instagram, social media, everybody when they eventually turn their back on them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because we know it's gonna happen. But
I
it's an
mean, it's
easy
happening
team
with
to
the
root
Chiefs
for,
right
man.
now, where everybody used to
It's
love
happening
the
with the
Chiefs, and
Chiefs.
now it's like, oh yeah.
It's happening with a lot of these quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts getting a lot of slander. Tua getting a lot of slander lately. I'm like, man, like y'all was just riding these dudes a couple weeks ago. What's up? But anyway.
Yeah, nah, I agree with you, man. I agree with you 100%, man. Next
Hmm.
up, let's talk about the next game here, man. I want to talk about the Chiefs, who we just actually was bringing up against the Dolphins. Chiefs getting a big win, 26-7. It was like 2 degrees out there. It was cold. I think it might have been a negative wind chill. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but
Hmm.
it was a very cold game. Chiefs won 26-7, as I stated before. Tua Tagovailoa, just again, not really getting it done. 20 for 39, 199 yards, one touchdown, one interceptions. Patrick Mahomes, on the other hand, 23 for 41, 262 yards, one touchdown, no interception. I thought Isaiah Pacheco was amazing in that game. 24 for 89, 100 yards. One touchdown, excuse me. And then Rashee Rice went crazy in that game. 8 receptions for 130 yards and a touchdown. I think they may have something with Rashee Rice in Kansas City.
Hmm.
I'll give my take on this game first. This was kind of the offense we expected from the Kansas City Chiefs. I do think they still have some things to improve on. I think Travis Kelce is kind of looking a little washed. If I can just be honest, I love Travis Kelce. He's one of my favorite players in the league, but he's getting up there in age and he looks a little washed. If I'm gonna be completely transparent, I think he needs to step it up a little bit. I just think that when it comes down to it, Rashee Rice is a guy they're gonna have to start implementing into their offense because he looks to be the real deal. In the last couple of weeks, he's looked to be the guy that seems is going to really step up and kind of be the guy that comes next. So I think they need to start using that, continue to use him throughout the playoffs. And, I think that the future is very bright for Kansas City if they can continue to put pieces around Patrick Mahomes. As far as the Dolphins go, it's kind of the same story we've been hearing about them. They can't win against good teams. I mean, the only team above 500 that they beat this year was the Dallas Cowboys. And we're going to talk about them next. But that's the only team they beat over 500. Everybody else they beat this year was sorry. Yeah. Like, that's just what it is. So until the Miami Dolphins actually beat an actual team, I'm kind of good on believing in them and all that. But that's my take on that game. How do you feel about the game overall, Cam?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I think Rice needs to be implemented into that game plan a lot more. I mean, what he was able to do, I mean, he really just had his way with the Dolphins. I'll be honest, like it was especially early on in the game.
He cooked him a few times too.
Yeah, especially early on in the game, it was like, man, Rice is just open, and Mahomes was just finding them. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if he targeted another receiver over 2 times. I mean, he didn't really have to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can fact check me on that one, but I agree with what you said, especially about Travis Kelce. Again, he's already cemented his legacy. He's getting up there in age.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's one of the best tight ends to ever play this game. I mean, I don't think nobody will argue that. And just to fact check you on that, it was only 2 people that got more than 3 targets. So you were pretty close. Miko Hardman got right at 3, and Travis Kelce got 10 targets. But everybody else was 1, 2.
How many receptions receptions and yards did Kelce
have? So Kelce had 7 receptions for 71 yards, so about 10 yards a catch. And then Miko only had 1 catch for 3 yards.
Yeah, he dropped he like it was a pass that dropped right in his lap and he didn't even try to catch it. That was ridiculous. But anyway, the Chiefs defense is fantastic. Yeah. I feel like they don't get enough credit for what they got going on. They're an absolutely stout defense. Mahomes is always, good as usual, great as usual, of course. But yeah, I agree. I think Rice needs a lot more love and he needs to get a lot more credit because he's probably been one of the better rookie wide receivers in the league this year. I'd probably say he probably a top 5 rookie wide receiver this year, maybe higher. So so I think they got a good thing going. They need to get another pass catcher to go with him, but I think they got a good one right there in Rice. As far as the Dolphins go, man, I don't know what happened to them, man. I know Tyreek, his ankle was a little banged up. You can kind of tell he slowed down. Yeah. Probably after the 13th game of the season, I think.
Yeah.
12th to 13th game.
It was around that time.
Yeah, he kind of slowed down a little bit. I wasn't really a fan of their offensive game plan in the game. I felt like they were asking Tua to do more than he needed to do. Especially considering how the regular season went. But again, the main thing about the Dolphins, they got to beat the good teams. And that's the thing about it. They got to beat the good teams, excuse me. It can't just be, I think Hill even said it after the game, you can't just be a track meet. Like you gotta be a good squad too. You know what I'm saying? And they do have a good squad in my opinion. They got 2 good running backs. They got obviously 2 great wide receivers. They don't really implement the tight end as much in their offense, and that's fine. Especially when your offense is as prolific as it has been. But they just need to beat the teams obviously they beat the teams that they're supposed to beat, but they need to beat the best teams in the league, the teams that are considered their peers. You know what I'm saying? And until they beat those teams, they can't be considered a peer. You feel me?
Right.
So it's a shame how their season kind of collapsed, but at the same time, going up against the defending Super Bowl champs, it was going to be a tall task anyway, So
yeah, nah, man, I pretty much agree with you on that one too as well. Let's go ahead and jump into AB. He's in the comments right now. Let's jump into his Cowboys. We're gonna have a whole segment where we just talk about the NFCs getting shredded through. Um, the Green Bay Packers came into this game 9-8 and had one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL. They come in, and this score does not indicate how bad this game was. This was an absolute rout, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It was a rout. I think at one point it was 48-16.
Yeah.
And they came and scored 2 late touchdowns late. This was an absolute blowout, and the Dallas Cowboys should be ashamed of themselves. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Every year for the last 29 years, you showed up and just get routed. Like it's we'll talk about it more when we get to that segment because I don't want to go too long on it, but I really want to just use this segment more about giving the Packers their praise. Jordan Love has really turned the corner, guys. I don't know what's going on, but like the last month or two, Jordan Love has turned the corner. It looks like Green Bay might have landed another franchise quarterback again. So Jordan Love went 16 for 21, 272 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had a tremendous day. Aaron Jones, he turned the clock back the other day ago. 21 carries for 118 yards, 3 touchdowns. Romeo Dobbs, 6 catches for 151 yards, 1 touchdown. Luke Musgrave also got some action. 3 catches for 52 yards and a touchdown. I mean, just a tremendous game from that offense. Again, just really disappointed in how Dak played. Dak was turning over the ball. I think he threw 2 picks in this game, if I'm not mistaken. And one was a pick 6 that really put them up, I think, 27-0 at that point. It was just bad, man. It was just all out bad. But once again, I want to give credit to the Packers. Just Matt LaFleur, bro. You got to give this guy credit for what he's done with this team. They have the youngest team in the NFL, and he has them in the divisional round. I thought this team was going to be a 5-win team looking to probably draft like Drake May or Caleb Williams or something like that. But they've really done a good job with this roster, really did a good job with this team. And this is a Matt LaFleur masterclass. Like I know a lot of people thought, oh, well, he's only there because, Aaron Rodgers, and Rodgers helped him to get there and stuff like that. But at this point, with what he's had, he's done a really good job. So I wanted to give them credit first. But Cam, how did you feel about the game in general? And we'll jump into the Cowboys in our next segment.
Yeah. No, I thought they did it was a great game for them. Like you said, the score don't tell the whole story. They really blew them boys out.
Yeah.
It was 27-0 right before the half. I think Dallas scored like right as time expired at the half. But yeah, they 27-0. It was incredible, man. Jordan Love, I tweeted this out earlier, but if he didn't have that cold streak in the middle of the season, I think he would be probably an MVP candidate, but he would definitely be on that all-pro team as well. Probably would have been second team at the least. But they really have a great team. I think LaFleur should be in consideration for coach of the year. I don't think he's going to get it over D'Amico Ryans, but this was a great job. Like you said, the youngest team in the NFL. And they hit on their franchise quarterback once again. And I think Love, and see, I was high on Love. You can y'all can check the tweets.
Yeah, no, you were.
Y'all know how to search the tweets. Yeah, I thought Jordan Love had a little potential, so it's good to see him kind of come out there and show what he's really made of. And I think, moving forward, they obviously got to re-sign him and they got to, try to retain all that talent. But they do a great job of drafting offensive talent, man. They drafted Musgrave and another what's my man? Was it Tucker Kraft last year at tight end?
Kraft, yep. Mm-hmm.
And then they drafted I think Jaden Reed, I believe he's a rookie.
Reed. Yeah.
And they drafted another rookie wide receiver, I believe, too.
Wicks.
Dontavian Wicks.
Wicks.
So I mean, they just keep loading up, man. And so if they can find a way to shore up that defense even better going into next season. And I'm not saying the season's even over for them because they look very good, just like the Texans did. So yeah, they're another team you got to look out for moving forward in the NFC North.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And we'll jump into the Cowboys a little bit later. Let's talk about probably the best game of the weekend, in my opinion. The Detroit Lions getting a win over the LA Rams after 32 years of not winning a playoff game. For one, congratulations to the Detroit Lions fans. That city deserves a winner. And congratulations for them. 32 years of seeing your team straight get bounced or not be good. It's got to be tough. But they win 24-23. Cam, what's your opinion on this game? How did you feel about this game? Give me your insight.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid game. I wasn't paying too much close attention to it, to be honest with you. But I just know that it was a nice little back and forth. I thought that Matthew Stafford really lit them boys up
Yeah,
to be real
he
with you
did.
on the other side of the ball. Um, but it was a good game, man. It's nice to see Detroit finally arrive. Me and you, me and you've been talking about Detroit for the last 2 years because a lot of Panthers fans think that, you know, when we used to have the town halls, they would be like, "Well, we're not the Lions or we're not the Jets," but it's clear that we're not neither one of those teams because they showed improvement this year, and the
Yeah,
Lions in particular are Super Bowl what's it called, contenders. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So good for them. Good win for the city. As far as the Rams go, they really shouldn't hang their head either, because in my opinion, they overachieved. What were they, 9-8 this year, or 10-7?
I believe they were 10. Yeah, they were 10-7 this year.
10-7 this year. They had a great season. Um, they found them a stud in Puka Nakua, who also had a great game. I think he had over 130 yards or something like that. I think that's a rookie record in a
Yep.
postseason game as well.
Most receiving
So
yards from a rookie in a postseason game ever.
yeah. So I mean, he just had a tremendous season. It's sad to say that he won't even win Offensive Rookie of the Year because of CJ Stroud.
Proud.
But
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of them years where you might have to go co-offensive rookie of the year. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because he really had a great season. But other than that, man, the Rams, they look like they can, if they could just get a little bit younger. That's the only thing about them. They just got to get a little bit younger on the defensive side of the ball. Well, actually, no, they just need to get more talent in there and stay healthy. You know what I'm saying? And I think they'll be a problem for some years to come as well. But shout out to Detroit. Who they got next?
Tampa Bay.
They got Tampa Bay next. Shout out to Detroit. That's gonna be a good game as well, I think.
Yeah.
But what was your thoughts on the game? What you think?
Honestly, man, like you said, I don't think neither team should hang their hand. I think the Rams and the Detroit Lions both have bright futures. To be completely honest with you, I'll start with the bad first. I thought Sean McVay coached horribly the other day ago,
Mm,
in my opinion. I felt like he was playing scared to win.
hmm
He was playing like he was kind of like, oh, I don't, we plan to keep a lead and not win the game and stuff like that. I felt like he really wasn't trying. Like, I just felt like coaching wise, Sean McVay, kind of screwed the pooch going for two when they could have just took the field goal, tied the game up, and then went to OT, whatever the case may be. I just felt like it was just too much.
hmm
And that happens with these analysts. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Sean McVay's still a top 5, top 10 coach in the NFL. Don't get me wrong. He just had a rough day in the office. It was
Yeah.
just a rough day. It's just what it is. But I just didn't agree with some of the decisions that he made. Again, Matthew Stafford, like you said, he carved him up. Jared Goff as well, carved up. I mean, they both quarterback. It was very good quarterback play in this
hmm
game. As far as the Rams, I'll give the positives about them. Again, a lot of the guys that they do have, they're 5th-round pick rookies.
Yeah.
Kyron Williams, Byron Young. They have a lot of young guys that are really good that helped them get to that 10-7 record this year. So I do think they do have an insurgent of youth on that team
Yeah,
that
they
can
do.
be
Yeah.
good, that can really set them apart. But I do think, like you said, they're going to need a quarterback eventually because Matthew Stafford is getting up there in age. And also, as well, they probably could use a little bit more, veteran presence on that defense side of the ball. But
Mhm.
besides that, though, they are a good team. I think by far, Sean McVay probably had his best coaching year this year, even though I don't agree with what he did on Saturday. He did a great job. This is another team that I thought would be in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes, and they did a really good job getting to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, again, shout out to the Rams. As far as the Lions go, man, Jared Goff played a tremendous game. Like I said, I think this team is really starting to see it now, and I think they're going to be in the NFC Championship, bro. I'm just going to go
hmm
ahead and say I think they beat the Bucks this week coming up, and the Detroit Lions will be in the NFC Championship, bro. That's kind of my thoughts on them. I could be wrong, obviously, but I'm extremely proud about the Lions because Cam, who been telling you for the last 2 years now, the Lions are right there. They're
Mm-hmm.
right there. I've been saying it for the last 2 years now, and this year it seems to be coming into full fruition. So again, man, excited about what the Detroit Lions are doing because I've been saying this team's a really good team, and I'm excited to see what they do against the Buccaneers. Like you said, it's gonna be another really really good game, man.
Yeah,
So I'm excited to see it
yeah.
personally.
That's gonna be a fun matchup for sure.
Yeah. Next up, we're going to talk about the Bills and the Steelers game. 31-17, Bills win. I don't think nobody's really surprised by this game. I think we all kind of knew Buffalo was winning this game by 10 plus points, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
happened. Again, I know we're kind of hard on Josh Allen because he's turned over the ball a few times, but this dude, he's a good dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. He's a good player. He just got to tune down the turnovers, and like I said yesterday, he did that. He didn't turn the ball over much. He didn't make a lot of mistakes. When Josh Allen plays mistake-free football, he is a top 3 quarterback in the game. When he doesn't, he is not. Like, that's the thing with Josh Allen. When he's good, he's great. Like, he's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the turnovers. But yesterday, you can see what that team can be. And the Bills right now are like the hottest team in the NFL,
Yeah.
in my opinion. It was the Rams, and I still think the Rams did pretty good. But I think the Bills is kind of like the team to kind of look at as far as they ain't no joke. They really flipped the switch.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, they was talking about firing McDermott, and now look at him. He's really turned this team around. But in my opinion, man, I think they're starting to utilize the run more, and it's going to
That's what it
aggravate you
is.
as a Panthers fan. Shout out to Joe Brady. Joe Brady really got that offense looking different. They're more balanced now. They have a run threat. I mean, they're a different team now. So,
Yep.
what's your opinion on the Bills? Like I said, this was a game I don't think nobody's really surprised about the outcome.
Mm-mm. No, I ain't surprised at all. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. They took care of business.
Yeah,
Let's not forget the Steelers were undermanned as well. You
yeah,
know what
they
I'm
were.
saying?
Yeah,
They didn't have T.J. Watt. I think they were missing a couple other pieces on defense. Mason Rudolph, he ain't really,
yeah,
no disrespect. We
yeah.
know, what you're getting out of Mason Rudolph. I mean, he's been
Right,
on the team for about 3-4 years now. So
right.
I mean, it's just again, they took care of business. Josh Allen had a great day.
He
I'm
did.
gonna say something. I'm gonna say something too, because I know a lot of people, think I hate Josh Allen and stuff like that. But I'm gonna give him his flowers right now. This dude is incredible. I mean,
Yeah,
I gotta just say it. Like I think he's the first quarterback in NFL history with 40 touchdowns in 4 straight seasons. That's insane. You know what I'm saying? I agree with what you said. On his best day, he probably, in my opinion, he probably in that conversation for best quarterback in football on his
yeah.
best day. You know what I'm saying? On his worst day, he's still top 10. It's just he turned the ball over too much. You
He
kick your
still
team out
leads
the
the league
games. You know what
in
I'm
turn.
saying?
Yeah,
Yeah, you knock your team out the game. But again, he didn't do that yesterday or whatever day they played that game, and it was fantastic. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Um he was quick too, did a lot of work on the ground. And like you said, they're using their legs, they're using his legs, they're using James Cook. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I know me and you talked about James Cook the other day. Like I said, they're using that run game and it's working. You feel
yeah.
me? They just cut Leonard Fournette earlier today
Yep, I
because
seen
I mean
that.
you see what I'm saying? Because they know James Cook is a dog and you got, one of the best running quarterbacks in the game. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
it's just good for them. Um, I think they're a fantastic team. Who they play next? They got the Chiefs next. That's right. That's gonna be a
Yep,
good
Chiefs
game at home.
in Buffalo.
Yep,
So this will
at
be
home.
Patrick Mahomes' first road game
First ever
in
road game.
in the playoffs.
Yep.
Yep.
So good for Josh Allen. Shout out to the Bills. I think to be real with you, when you said, like you said, hottest team in football. They, in my opinion, like in the last couple of years, right now, this is their time. Like
Yeah.
they can really, because I don't think there's many teams looking better than them, other than the number 1 seed in the AFC that look are like on that level because they're just rolling. You feel me? So shout out to them. I
I
thought
think
that
the
was a good
Niners.
game.
I think the Niners could give them something too in the Super Bowl. I think the Niners could. I think the Niners,
Yeah,
the Bills. I
I
think the
just
only
I
two teams I could really see stopping the Bills, and I mean, you still can't discount the Chiefs because it's Patrick
right,
Mahomes, man.
right. They might mess around and win.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm
That game
saying?
is gonna be extremely. I can't wait to see that one. That's
Absolutely,
yeah, that's gonna be a bomb, bro. My bad.
absolutely.
My bad. Let you go. I'm gonna let you
No,
go.
You good? I was just gonna say I think the Bills. When I look at who's left,
Yeah,
I don't see a team that we can emphatically say, oh, they can beat the Bills. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like I think the Bills they should be favored in most games moving
Yeah,
forward. They
yeah,
probably should be favored against the Chiefs this week. And if they beat the Chiefs, against the Ravens and Texas, I think there's a shot that they're favored in that game as well.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe not against the Ravens because the Ravens would be at home, but
Mhm.
if it's the Texans, then they should be able to take care of business for the Texans. And I think the Super Bowl, in my humble opinion, I don't know. I don't even think the 49ers can beat a team like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I think the Bills are that hot.
they're a good team, man. I don't think you can deny how good the
Yeah.
49ers is, man. I know I don't. I don't discredit how good that team is, man. And I don't discredit how good the Bills are playing right now. The Bills are playing really, really good right now, man. So
Six
we'll
games in
see.
a row. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They look amazing right now, man. I gotta be
Yeah.
honest with you. So let's go ahead and move to the last game, which is gonna get us into our final a point about the NFC East. I mean, let's just talk about it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers absolutely blew the Eagles out. I mean, it was not close, 32-9. The game really never was close. Bradbury looks absolutely awful, by the way. Just not really a good game from this Eagles team. I thought the offense struggled down the stretch the last couple of weeks. They're on a 6-game skid now and out the playoffs. Jalen Hurts had an okay game, 25 for 35, one touchdown, 250 yards. They've really just struggled getting a run game going. I mean,
Yeah.
overall last night they had 15 carries for 42 yards. That's between 3 running backs. Well, Jalen Hurts and 2 running backs.
Yeah.
That's just unacceptable, bro. Again, I just think there needs to be a change in Philly. Not as I'm not gonna say Sirianni. I'm not gonna say that because I know that's the popular thing to say. But there's no way. There's no way Brian Johnson should have a job
Yeah.
today. Like I hate to put a brother down because he is a brother. I, I'm sorry, bro. That's just unacceptable. What happened to that team this year, especially
Yeah.
offensively, it was unacceptable. The
Yeah.
defensive coordinator got demoted mid-season. They had to call Matt Patricia to come in and call plays because he was so terrible. I can't even think of the young guy's name right now, but he was terrible.
Sean Desai.
Desai, that's his name.
Yeah.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. And I'm just gonna tell you the truth, man. There needs to be coordinator changes immediately. Like them guys should have been packing their bags today, saying it's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
I think Brian Johnson and the dude you just said, I think they both need to be gone.
Yeah.
And if Sirianni don't make that change and they suck again next year, I'm telling you now, in that city, if the Eagles get off to a slow start next year, he's out. I think he's
Yeah.
out. But we'll jump into that when we get into the Eagles. But again, let me get to Tampa Bay real quickly. Tremendous game for Baker. I mean, that was like Oklahoma Baker we seen last night. Like that was Oklahoma level Baker. He looked amazing. He was making plays. He was extending plays with his legs. That looked like Oklahoma Baker with Lincoln Riley last night. And a tremendous game from him as well. I can't think of the OC down there in Tampa Bay. He's up for the Panthers job
Canales.
too.
Dave Canales.
Dave Canales. He needs to get a lot of credit too because now he has revived 2 quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield and also as well Geno Smith last year
Smith.
because he was Geno Smith's QB quarterback last year. So again, we got to get that guy some credit. I think he needs to be another guy that the Carolina Panthers should be looking at as well while we're on this topic. But yeah, man, Baker looked really good last night. K-Dot looked good. Even David Moore, I hadn't heard his name since he was in Seattle. Like he even was going crazy last night. But how did you feel about the game and all?
Yeah. Kind of what you said earlier. We'll get into the Eagles a little bit later because
Yeah,
I got some bars to say about them.
yeah, we
But
get into them right after this.
as far as far as the Buccaneers
Trust me.
go, as far as the Buccaneers go, um, it kind of hurts to see as a former fan of a team that's in the NFC South. You know what I'm saying? Just the way they the way they moving. Um, Baker Mayfield, like you said, tremendous game. I hate to see it, to be real with you. I hate to see it. But they had a great they had a great game, and they just really had their way with the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? They was at home. The Eagles that was a monumental collapse at the
Yeah,
end of the season, and they took advantage of it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So, shout out to the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield looks great. You said they play the Lions next. Is that right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they play the Lions next. That's gonna be a great game. Um, I'm gonna take the Lions in that game still, but I think the Buccaneers should be ecstatic about where they are. You feel me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, unfortunately though, if they lose Canales, it's gonna be tough for them next season. You feel me? Because he's
Yeah,
obviously, the key to kind of that resurgency that Baker Mayfield has had and that offense has had. Um, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Because that was another team that we were saying like probably gonna be among the worst in
yeah.
football.
It's
And they
another
messed
one we
around and
said was gonna be
yeah.
terrible. And they end up
Because I
being
think we
decent.
had them. I think we had them finishing last in the South,
Yeah, we
and they
did. We
messed.
did,
Yeah.
bro. We had them finishing last in the South, and they
Mhm.
won the division. Man,
Won
I
the
tell you,
division and hosted the playoff game. So
hilarious,
yeah,
bro. So let's
it's
go ahead and
crazy.
just jump right into that. Let's jump for one. Before we jump into even that, does it get on your nerves that every person that leaves the Carolina Panthers gets better? Like every
Yeah.
single person that leaves the Panthers, they end up getting better. DJ Moore, he had the best year of his career this year. Got
Yep.
better as soon as he left Carolina. Baker Mayfield, all of a
Best year of
sudden,
his career.
he looks like an actual NFL starting quarterback.
A decent
It's like
quarterback.
every
Yeah.
person that comes to Carolina, they leave here and they get better, bro. Every
Rasul
single
Douglas.
Rasul
Rasul
Douglas is
Douglas.
absolutely a cooked product. He went to Green Bay and researched his career. Even James Bradbury, I know that, last night was tough, but in years past, he left Carolina and was better. He was like the
Yeah.
best cornerback, too, in the league for like 2-3 years straight.
Yeah.
Every person that leaves the Carolina Panthers just gets better. So if you want to get better, just come to Carolina for 1 year. Oh, Hassan Reddick. He left
Yeah.
Carolina and got even better. He was even good when he was at Carolina, but he got
I
even
know
better when he left.
there's more out there. 100%. I know there's more out
Yeah,
there. I
yeah.
know it is. I mean, shoot, we low key can say Christian McCaffrey as well.
Christian McCaffrey, he's all of a sudden healthy
Healthy.
every game.
It's about
Like,
a.
you know what I'm saying? It's just the Panther way. I'm sorry, I had to say that real quick before we
Mhm.
go in on the NFC East team. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it.
Yeah.
The Cowboys and the Eagles absolutely dropped the ball this weekend. The Cowboys, let me start off with them first. I think the pressure gets to them. I think them knowing that we're quote unquote America's team, I think that pressure gets to them. They might say, "We don't listen to the media. We don't want." You're lying. You listen to the media.
Mhm.
You're watching
Awesome.
because every single time the playoff comes around, they act like they don't know how to play football all of a sudden. Every time it's our year, we gonna win it all. They fall on their. This is 29 years of evidence. 29 years straight of evidence that the Cowboys cannot handle the pressure of being a quote unquote America's team. They can't. They can't handle that pressure. And then on top of that, let me get on Mike McCarthy. Jerry Jones, you gotta let him go, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. Mike McCarthy, I didn't really understand the hire in the first place.
Yeah.
But for me, I think Mike McCarthy, I'd have him gone. I mean, I just don't think he can get you over the hump. He had Aaron Rodgers, and he barely got them over the hump with Aaron Rodgers in his prime. So
Yeah, and
again, bro,
that was really the cusp, like the beginning
yes,
of his prime, and he couldn't do
prime,
nothing after. Yeah.
and then do nothing. That's my
Mhm.
point, man. And for me, bro, I think that Mike McCarthy has to go. I just think it's time for change there with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm gonna say something that's probably another unpopular thing. A little bit of this has to go on Dak Prescott, man. Dak Prescott is just he's not the guy to get you over the hump. I know that sounds terrible. He had a tremendous year this year. He had a really good year this year. I just don't think he can get this team over the hump. He's going to get you to the playoffs. He's going to get you 11 wins almost every single year. He's a good quarterback. I don't want to make it seem like I'm coming on here saying Dak sucks. That's not what I'm
Mhm.
doing. But I do not think Dak can get you over the hump. Dak is not he's not a Josh Allen. He's not a Lamar Jackson. He's not just what Cam Newton said about him was correct. I think Dak is a little bit above a game manager. A little bit. That's it. I mean, that's just what he is. Um, as far as CD Lamb and his connection that they had, that they didn't have, I guess I would say it was incredible because all year they've been able to hook up, and then it was like in that game, it was ghost town. Jair Alexander absolutely put CD Lamb in Rikers Island. It was bad,
Yep.
bro. He locked them up, and Jair Alexander continues to show why he's one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. I don't think people talk about it. I think Jair Alexander is like a top 3 corner in this league, bro. Like I think he's right up there with the best in the game. Jalen Ramsey, all them, Sauce Gardner. I think he's right up there with them. And I think he continues to show that throughout this season and throughout these past couple of years. He's one of the best corners in the game. Now, let me get my bars off about the Eagles real quick, and then I'll let you go. The Eagles have a ego problem. I think there's too many egos in the building. I think Sirianni thinks he's some type of great coach, and he wasn't. He was getting held up by Josh Gannon and also as well, my boy I wanted last year that went to the Colts, Shane Steichen. I told the Panthers, you need to get that guy. He's good. They said he interviewed horribly. And look what he did with Indianapolis Colts. They are swing catch away from being in the playoffs with that team with a backup quarterback on top of that. I think Sirianni benefited from the offense coordinator and the defensive coordinator. And now, since he got 2 slappies at that position, he don't know how to coach. I mean, it's just the truth. Like, I can't really put it any other way. Yeah. Nick Sirianni, and I've been saying this about Nick Sirianni, I really didn't ever see the hype with him.
Yeah.
But his coordinators were very good at their jobs, which helped him look good. I'm not saying Nick Sirianni should be fired because I know a lot of people in the Eagles Nation are saying he should be gone. He just took you to the Super Bowl last year. Let's calm down a little bit. But does he need to make a change at the offensive coordinator position and defense coordinator position? Yes, I absolutely think so because that defense, I don't know if you've seen it last night, the tackling was god-awful. It was bad. The play calling on offense, god-awful. It was bad. The only 2 players I seen show up, really one player I seen show up last night, was Devontae Smith. That was it. Everybody else could have just stayed at home. I'll give Jalen Hurts a little bit of slack because he's hurt right now. I think he's battling through something as far as injury-wise.
His finger.
His finger.
Dislocated his finger. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll give him a little bit of a break, but I just don't think Nick Sirianni is a good coach, in my opinion. I think he was held by his OC in DC because if you look at Josh Gannon and what he did in Arizona. Yeah, they weren't great this year, but towards the end of the season, they were competing. Yeah. They beat the Eagles in Philly late in the season. You look at what the Colts did with Shane Steichen. Like I said, they are a play away from being in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Those coaches are good actual coaches. Nick Sirianni, I think he's just a figurehead. What's your take on the whole thing?
Yeah. As far as the Eagles go, I'm gonna start with the Eagles.
Yep.
I agree with what you said. I don't think. I forget that. I'll be real with you. I think they should just fire him too. Just let him go and clean house.
Sirianni as well.
Yeah, because I'm not a fan. I didn't think he was that great anyway before. I wasn't gonna say no. Obviously, you don't want to fire somebody who just came off of a Super Bowl.
Right.
You only want to upgrade. You know what I'm saying? But when you have a monumental collapse like this, the season after you lose both your coordinators, that's a shame, bro.
Yeah,
that is a shame. They need to clean house on every single coordinator in the building because that was a mess. You feel me? They're wasting supreme talent on both sides of the ball, and that's a shame. Got to give a shout out to my boy Devontae Smith. You know what I'm saying? You know I'm high on Smitty, or new Smitty, but you know I'm high on Smitty, but he really be out there doing his thing. You feel me? And so shout out to him. Like you said, he really was the only player that was getting off. You know what I'm saying? And he was gonna get off anyway. You feel me? But you know, you can tell he wanted bad. As far as Hurts goes, he was hurt, he was injured. So I'm gonna give him a pass. I still think last year, what he did last season, all the way through that Super Bowl run and in the Super Bowl, I think that's the true Jalen Hurts. I think this year he took a step back in terms of like yardage wise and everything, but obviously touchdown wise, he was still getting to the end zone. You know what I'm saying? But I think, you know, switching your offensive coordinator around, and I know Brian Johnson was the QB coach last year, but Still, sometimes some of these people, might need to stay in a certain position. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Brian Johnson's just better working with the quarterbacks than he is working with the whole entire offense. You know what I mean? Or again, we don't know because this was really just year one as an offensive coordinator. Maybe he just need more time. You feel me? But either way, that was a mess. And I think they should be embarrassed. Everybody in that front office, or really not front office, but everybody in that coaching staff should be embarrassed because you got too much talent on that roster to be 10-1 at one point in the season, finish the season 11-6, and then get bounced in the first round of the playoffs. That's absolutely embarrassing. That's embarrassing, bro. No, that's a shame. Um, as far as the Cowboys go, though, AB, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get on your boys too bad, but something's got to give. At this point, we need to everybody need to turn their attention to the one man that's been with the Cowboys this whole time, and that's
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Jones.
Jerry
You
Jones.
feel me? That man needs to do something. You feel me? This is a mess. This is ridiculous. You can't be this good this often and be nowhere and go nowhere with it. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys have had one of the best offensive lines probably for the past, God, I don't even know how long now, 15 years in a row.
Yeah.
Offensive line always been good. They've had Dak Prescott, who me and you both think is a top 10-ish guy. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere around in there. On his best day, he top 10 for sure. On his worst day, he looked trash. And I don't know what's going on there. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they have devoid of talent. I mean, they loaded on the defensive side of the ball. Look at what Dan Quinn is doing with them boys. They lost my man, what's my man name? Diggs. They
Yeah.
lost Diggs for the season, replaced him with a first team all pro cornerback in Deron Bland. You know what I'm saying? And then not to mention they got Stephon Gilly over there on the other side as
Yep.
well.
On the other side,
You know what I'm saying? Defensive line. Maybe they need some tackles up front, but you got Michael Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence coming off the sides. You know what I'm saying? You got a squad.
Yep.
Wide receiver room, you got CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, and Michael Gallup. You know what I'm saying? Tight end room is straight with what's my man name? Ferguson. You know what I'm saying? I mean, running back, Tony Pollard. You loaded, bro. You got a really good squad. So why aren't you able to get it over the hump? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? Something's got to give. And like you said, maybe it's Mike McCarthy. And we already said this a long time ago, but when Mike McCarthy first got hired, remember he lied to Jerry Jones. He lied to his face.
Yeah, he lied to his face.
Lied to his face? Said he wanted an analytics guy. He came in preaching about analytics. As soon the first press conference after he got hired, I don't even know what analytics are, bro. I just said that in the interview. Ridiculous, bro. And that wasn't enough. It's been how many years now? 3, 4? That wasn't enough for you to know. You know what I'm saying? That was ridiculous, bro. He got hired the same year as Rule, right? Am I not mistaken?
Yeah.
That was ridiculous. You got to let him go now. It's time, bro.
Yeah.
Get in there, hire some of these guys. Hire. It's so many people out there. Go on and get your start on this hiring process. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a mess. And it's the thing about the Cowboys, though, it don't matter what we say or what happens. You know what I'm saying? What's gonna happen next year, what the roster look like, it's always gonna be the same thing.
Yeah.
It's always gonna be the same thing. They never gonna make it to the Super Bowl with the way they moving. They gotta get the hires right, and they have to stay. And first of all, Jerry Jones need to make the hire and keep and stay hands off. No more press conferences. You know what I'm saying? No more this, that, and the third. Let your team cook, bro. And stop hiring buffoons. Jason Garrett was a buffoon. Mike McCarthy was a buffoon. Who was Wade Phillips was before that. Was a buffoon. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get the hire right, man. You gotta get the hire right. And it's a shame. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with everything you said, man. It's just sad to see these two NFC East teams that have so much talent kind of just be wasted on the wasteland. I mean, that's just really what it is. I want to move over a little bit to some college football a little bit because we had a lot going on this weekend as well, and really this past week. Last Wednesday, so the day after we did our podcast, Nick Saban retires. Nick Saban went 22, went 292 and 71 and 1 in college. Um, seven national championships, six with Alabama, one with LSU, 11 SEC championships. I mean, has won the Bear Bryant, which is like the best coach award. He's won that multiple times. And Nick Saban retires. What was your initial feeling when you heard that Nick Saban had retired?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of sad, bro, because it's like because I don't know a college football without Nick Saban. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I first seen that, I was like, dang, because when Clemson was good, obviously Nick Saban and Alabama were kind of not our rivals, but obviously that was the team that we were always
You
looking
played
forward
against a
to
lot, yeah.
playing against. Exactly, yeah, that was the team we kind of felt our standard was trying to get to them. But in these last couple of years, especially through the NIL and what everything's been going on in the college football landscape, I kind of grown to appreciate what Nick Saban was able to do before, and what he's still able to do, or what he was still able to do. And I thought this year, I mean, I'll be real with you, I was kind of pulling for them Alabama boys. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because I thought they really had a great season. And I thought this was a good season for them to kind of win, because I felt like that would have been more. It was almost like a throwback college football. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for him to kind of come out and retire, and then especially hearing the reasons why he retired was even more sad, because he
Yeah.
was just like, it wasn't that he didn't love football no more, or it wasn't that college football was changing. He just was like, man, I can't. I'm 70 something years old. I can't be staying up till 3 a.m. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, you just getting old.
Yeah.
But congrats on a great career. You know what I'm saying? You really probably the GOAT coach in college football history. And you really, kind of spawned off some of the great coaches as well.
Yeah.
Kirby Smart, Steve Sarkisian, the list goes on and on and on, right?
Lane Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin, exactly. And then you inspired, a guy like a Dabo Sweeney, obviously. So I mean, his name and track record and influence will live on in college football forever.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think Nick Saban retiring, it really was one of those like, where were you type moments. Like it was like, wow, like Nick Saban's gone. Like what? I was on the phone with my mom when I got the news, and I was like, Mom, I'm gonna have to call you back. Like I didn't see what's going on, bro.
Yeah.
So Nick Saban retiring was absolutely shocking, man. I mean, even though he's one of those people that you just thought would do this until he goes to his grave. Like, I mean, honestly. That's kind of how I felt about Nick Saban was, he's the GOAT. I don't think it's even a question. Nick Saban is the best coach in college football history of all time. I mean, 7 national championships at 2 different places. I mean, to me, it's not even a question. He is the GOAT of college football. So I'm appreciative of him. And kind of like what you said, it was kind of like a bittersweet moment because it's really a changing of era. Like we're going into a new era now. Like this past 15, 20 years was the Nick Saban era. Now it seems like we might be stepping into the Kirby Smart era of college football. So yeah, man, it's just kind of crazy to see, man, overall. I want to get your take on this too. Who did you think was going to get that job? Before we get into the Kalen DeBoer part, what did you think was going to happen? Like, so Nick Saban retires. Now the Alabama job, one of the best jobs in the country, is open. What did you think was going to happen at that point?
Yeah, so obviously, as Clemson fans, we've known for years. I mean, it was almost for years. It was the worst kept secret in football.
Yeah, it was
that Dabo Sweeney would roll to Alabama as soon as Nick Saban retired. But obviously, since college football had changed so much, in that time, and Sweeney refuses to kind of change with it. I had a feeling that it wouldn't be him. So I get that out the way first. But I thought
you didn't think Dabo was going to Alabama. You didn't even
I didn't think. No, I didn't think. After what Dabo did these last 2 years, because we said it before in one of the Twitter spaces. Why would Alabama go after him? You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
we did.
After these last 2 years, don't get me wrong. I still think he's one of the best coaches in
Oh
football.
yeah,
But
absolutely. Yeah,
why would they go after him knowing that he's not going to use the transfer portal? You know what I'm saying? I just didn't think that was going to happen. So I thought a guy like a Dan Lanning, I know his name was tossed around in there a little bit. I thought he might make the decision. But then again, we already talked about, Oregon and the Nike money and all of the stuff he got going on. So I figured he might stay over there. Another name that was tossed around a lot was a Mike Norvell.
yeah.
Obviously, we talked about Mike Norvell on this pod before. You know what I'm saying?
Your favorite coach
So
in the world, Cam. Your favorite
yeah,
coach.
we'll talk about we talked about him before. I didn't think he was gonna go. I didn't think they would go after him. So I really didn't know for a time there. I really thought they might just promote from within. I can't tell you their coordinators' names, but I thought they just might grab one of them and promote. Oh, and Steve Sarkisian, I thought might
Yeah,
actually be a name that they get. But that was really the only names I really thought of. To be real with you.
yeah.
Yeah.
For me, at first I thought Dan Lanning too. I was like, that's like an obvious hit. Like, just go get Dan Lanning. He's the hottest young coach right now that everybody's like gravitating to. So I was
Right.
like, Dan Lanning would make a ton of sense for Alabama. He turns him down. So then Thursday comes. I'm starting to get kind of nervous now as a Clemson fan. I'm like, okay, Dabo actually might get like he actually might go, because Thursday comes and Sarkisian gets an extension. So I'm like, okay, that means Sark ain't going.
Yeah.
Then Thursday, about midday come, Mike Norvell gets an extension, right?
He
So
got
we're
an extension.
going out, yeah, he got a 10-year extension. So
10
we're going out
years.
10 years. So I'm
Darn.
kind of like, okay, now Lane Kiffin, it ain't nobody left but like Lane Kiffin, Dabo, only a few guys left. So I'm like, hold on. And then Kalen DeBoer. And then what made it even more kind of scary is Dabo's what they call it, the Vegas odds was top. They had him like as pretty
Number
much
one.
yeah, they had him as the number one guy to go to Alabama. So I'm like, oh Lord. Vegas saying he gonna go number one. It might be Joever. Like I was already thinking, all right, we might need to go get Kalen DeBoer or Jeff Fitz or something like that. I was already thinking about contingency plans at that point.
Clemson.
Yeah,
Okay,
for Clemson. Yeah, at this point. And then Friday morning comes, and a lot of Bama fans are not going to admit this. And I have a pretty good source that said Bama reached out to Dabo, and Dabo said no, pretty much.
Yeah.
Which was surprising to me. I'm not going to lie, I was shocked. But like I said, pretty much from what I've heard, and I trust this person, Dabo was reached out to by Alabama just to kind of gauge the interest Thursday afternoon. And pretty much the conversation didn't go much. It was just, hey, would you like to come to Bama? Don't really want to be the guy right after Saban. I like what I built here at Clemson. I built it by myself. That's it.
Yeah.
And by that time, they were already in Seattle with what's the guy? What's Kalen DeBoer? They were already in Seattle. Yeah. So I don't think I want to make this clear too. I don't think Dabo was their number one choice either, to be honest.
Okay.
I think Dabo was probably their backup plan. If Kalen DeBoer said no, they were gonna try to push Dabo. Just to be honest, like I'm just gonna keep it real. I think that's kind of
one of the recruits said. Did you see that? That one of the recruits said that it's a wide receiver recruit 2024. Mm-hmm. He said he was on a visit or something. And he said that Dabo kind of made a joke. He was like, "Sorry, I'm running late. I was telling Alabama no."
Oh,
I seen it in one of them. You saw that?
Yeah, I did see somebody. I heard somebody.
Oh no, he said that's why he got his black eye. That's what it was. He said he got it or something like that. I don't remember, but anyway.
I wonder. I do wonder this, and then we'll get into the Kalen DeBoer on the Alabama thing. I wonder how long did Bama know this was coming? I wondered was this a surprise to them, or Saban was kind of telling them, "Look, I might hang it up." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wondered did they kind of know it was coming?
They probably, you know what? That's a good question because I feel like I don't know. I feel like they probably didn't know. You
I
know what I'm
kind of feel
saying?
like they
Maybe,
didn't know either.
yeah, I think they did because I think and the reason why I say that is because I don't think Nick Saban, I don't think it was on his mind either. I think
No,
he just kind of woke up one day and was like, you
I
know
was like,
what?
I'm done.
I don't think, yeah, I think he was just like, I think this is really the end of the line for me. Because
Yeah.
I think Saban probably came to that decision in a span of like maybe 2 days. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
they said like 5 minutes before a team meeting, he literally was deciding, am I about to just quit right here or like tell them get ready for spring? That's what he
Yeah.
told
See,
Chris Flower. So
yeah,
I don't know. You might be right. But I think it
yeah,
caught Bama off guard too, because I think if
yeah,
Bama would have known, they would have already had their next guy lined up. In college football,
exactly.
you know how things in college football go. They move quick.
It's
It's
fast.
within 24 hours a new coach's name. It took them like 72 hours
Yep.
to get a guy down. So that's why I kind of think they didn't know. Honestly, I think
Yep.
they did. I think Bama was caught off guard too. But let me talk about Kalen DeBoer real quick. Um, how do you like that hire? Do you think that's a good hire? How do you feel about Kalen DeBoer going to Alabama?
Yeah, I think he's a really good coach, to be real with you. I'm a fan of his. I think he's done great things at the University of Washington. Obviously he led him to, a national championship appearance. So I think he should have been really one of the hottest names, you know what I'm saying, over some of the guys that they were looking forward to. I know Dan Lennon, like you said, he was kind of the hot name, the young guy or whatever, but I think they got a great hire in him, in Kalen DeBoer. I think the expectations for him, unfortunately, are going to be through the roof. Especially obviously following Nick Saban is tough. It don't matter who it would have been.
Yeah,
But the problem is Kalen DeBoer's expectations are probably going to be just a tad bit higher than some of these other guys, simply because he just came off of a national championship game appearance. You feel me? So Alabama fans are probably looking around like, man, we got, you know, depending on who you ask, one of the top 5 coaches in the game right now. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
And he's at least probably top 4 last year because he made the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think the expectations are through the roof. I just be completely frank. I'm pulling for him just because I just don't. I think he's a good coach, and I don't want to see him lose his job fairly quickly because it takes time to rebuild, especially switching coaches. Like you got to get your recruiting class, you got to get you got to do the transfer portal, NIL, and all that good stuff. I mean, he's just not gonna have the show running, off the rip. I mean, Alabama, I ain't looked at their schedule yet, but they could very well end up with 7 or not 7, but 8. You know what I'm saying, 8 or 9 wins this season. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
it's a new coach, and I believe they lost quite a few players in the transfer portal, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
So, you know, we'll see how it goes for him. I still think it's a great hire. I don't think they really could have did a whole lot better, to be honest with you. Maybe if they got Dan Lennon or maybe even Sark, maybe. But I think those might be the only 2 options. Because like I said, I didn't think Dabo was really an option. So I think those are the only 2 options that I would say are maybe upgrades over who they had or who they got. But ultimately I think it's a really good hire.
yeah. No, I agree, man. I think Kalen DeBoer for Alabama is a tremendous hire. I mean, you look at every single place he's went to, they've won. I think he was at South Dakota State or something like that. They were winning there. That one year Indiana was good. Guess who was there? He was. Washington the last 2 years has been really good. I told you in the summer, watch out for Washington because I thought they was cooking up something with Kalen DeBoer. I thought it was a good hire. I have no problem with this hire for Alabama. I was high on the hire when it happened. I'm still high on the hire now. And yeah, I mean, honestly, man, I think expectations are going to be tough. Like you said, that's going to
Yeah.
kind of jump into our last topic of the day. Expectations are going to be extremely tough for Kalen DeBoer. I mean, you know that fan base. They lose 2 games, season's over. Like that, that's just how that fan base is. Even with the 12-team playoff, they're probably still going to be like that. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Even though they will probably still get in with 2 losses. But that's just that
Maybe
that's
it-
tough.
it's. Go ahead. Sorry, my
No,
bad.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say maybe the SEC is tough. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
now
and
they added new
Ole Miss
teams.
done got better. Texas and
Yeah,
Oklahoma
Texas in
coming.
there now.
It's gonna be rough. Texas A&M is
Yeah,
doing a really good job in the portal with Mike Elko and stuff. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be tough. LSU is still gonna be somewhat a factor. Ole
yeah,
Miss is really a team I would keep my eye on this upcoming season. Georgia, obviously, of course, they're
yeah.
top dogs now, as you can see. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But like I said, man, I feel like the expectations is just gonna be tough for Kalen DeBoer. So this gets to my last point of the night, and we'll kind of end it here. Bill Belichick is now a free agent coach, I guess you could say. He doesn't have a job right now. He's interviewed with the Falcons yesterday. Who do you think is in a tougher position? Whoever, Gerard Mayo or Kalen DeBoer? Who do you think is in a tougher position as far as following expectations? Who do you think is in a tougher position in your opinion?
I probably go Kalen DeBoer,
Yeah,
because I think Gerard Mayo, in my opinion, he don't have to live up to 6 Super Bowl rings like Bill Belichick has. He just needs to live up to two, or what were they 3-14 this year, or four
yeah,
and 13 this year, and 7-9 and 7-10 the 2 years before, whatever they
yeah,
was at. You know what I'm saying? That's what he needs to live up to. Improve on last year. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Now I will say that's how it should be. But the other thing is Gerard Mayo OOU. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Gerard,
yeah,
Gerard Mayo, Gerard
yeah.
Mayo
That's true.
OOU. You feel me?
Yeah,
So it's like, and it being OOU in Boston, like you
it's
said,
crazy.
that's crazy. That's a different breed.
Oh,
You
you in
feel me?
Boston is crazy.
So
If you know, you know what
Gerard,
we talking about.
yeah,
Yeah,
if you know,
yeah,
you know. You feel me? If you know, you know. You feel me?
yeah,
So Gerard Mayo, best of luck to you, my brother. It first and foremost, if that report or whatever that rumor that Bill Belichick had Gerard Mayo name in his contract to be his successor,
yeah.
if that's true, Bill, you solid, bro.
Yeah,
You
that's
solid.
yeah. I said the same
You
thing, bro. I said, bro,
yeah,
if that's true about Bill Belichick, bro, he's solid for that. I ain't even
you
gonna lie,
solid.
bro.
You
That's
solid as a
that's
rock.
real. That's a
Like
real.
that's
Yeah,
real, bro.
yeah,
But at the same time, real recognize real. You know what I'm saying? He know that Gerard Mayo was a coach in the making. He said that before. I mean, he's been on record for saying that. I don't know if it's true it was in his contract, but he's absolutely said that that he thought Gerard Mayo would be a great NFL coach. And Gerard Mayo, I believe he get some interviews last year
yeah.
or something like that.
Last year he
Yeah.
did. You remember the Panthers? The Panthers tried to interview him, and he said, "No, I'm good."
Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Um well, good for him for having that job. But yeah, I think Kalen DeBoer, I think his expectations are gonna be a little bit higher because his are a lot easier to attain. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like I think the expectation for DeBoer is to actually win. Coming,
Yeah,
boots. As soon as he get his boots on the ground, they should be winning 9, 10, 11, 12 games. You know what I'm saying? In their first couple of years. Gerard Mayo, they probably gonna give him a chance to rebuild. The fans not, but I think Robert Kraft probably will.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I think, I think Kalen DeBoer got it tough, man. Because again, at that college, man, if you lose 2 games, it's they calling for your job, man. It's just is
yeah,
what it is. Um, and everybody's gonna have the expectation of you should be Nick Saban, which is dang near impossible. Let's just be honest. That's tough. So it's just, I think Caleb Moore, I think Gerard Mayo was definitely probably in a better position as far as pressure because I
yeah.
think Bill Belichick and the Patriots losing these last couple of years has kind of helped too. Because let's say Bill Belichick was just coming off another, you know,
Title.
NFL Super Bowl championship, then it might be a little different. I might be like, all right, it's kind of even. But like
Yeah,
you said, the last couple of years they've been kind of down. So I think that's lessened the blow for Gerard Mayo. Now again, with you, Gerard Mayo was OOU, you know what I'm saying, in Boston. So again, it ain't gonna
yeah,
take much for them to be trying to get him up out of there. Let's just be real. This is the
yeah,
KMT podcast. We're gonna keep it 100. Gerard
yeah.
Mayo is a black man in Boston,
In Boston.
one of the most racist cities in the country. So again, it ain't gonna take much for him to get fired.
Yeah.
So again, I really hope I actually will be rooting for him because I really hope he does a
Yeah.
really good job. As much as I hate the Patriots, I'm gonna be rooting for that guy because I know if he doesn't get 5 or 6 wins at minimum, they're gonna be wanting to get rid of him like year one. I can
They're gonna be
already
saying
see
some
it.
stuff.
Yeah, I can already see it, bro. If he wins like 5 or 6 games, they are going to be trying to get rid of him in that city. I can guarantee you that. So I will be praying that he has a really good start. But yeah, that's just how I feel about that. But yeah, I agree. I think Kalen DeBoer is walking into a hornet's nest of expectation. I think he even knows that because
Mm-hmm.
somebody was saying something. He was saying something to the fans, like, or it was at his press conference, and they were saying something about like, how many games you expect to win, or or how long do you take? How long do you think it's gonna take you to get adjusted to like being in Alabama? And he was like, "You think I got that long?" Like they expected
Yeah.
me to pretty much insinuate like I got to get to work now and start
Now.
winning as soon as I get here because I know these folks will fire me. Like because it's Alabama, and then on top of that, I'm not gonna lie. I don't envy Kalen DeBoer's position at all because Nick Saban's still gonna be in the building, guys.
Yep.
So that's another thing that's like Nick Saban gonna be right over his shoulder, looking over him. Like that's gotta be tough too, having the GOAT looking over you, bro. Like that's gotta be tough, bro. Like and Nick Saban even said he's still gonna be coming out there checking players. Like I ain't
Yeah.
gonna lie, bro. Again, Nick Saban, if you're gonna retire, bro, retire, bro. Like
Retire.
I'm gonna be honest, like I know he's the GOAT and all that, but I feel like that's not fair to Kalen DeBoer either.
No.
That like you pretty much still gonna be in the building, still sitting there, and if some they do something that you don't like, you gonna be down there getting on them. I mean, I just feel like that's not fair to Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah.
He might
That's
run his
pressure.
shit differently than Nick Saban runs
Right.
his shit. So that's why I say I don't envy Kalen DeBoer's issue at all. At least Bill Belichick is gone completely.
Yeah.
He gonna be on a new team next year.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll see. But yeah, in my opinion, that's just kind of how I feel about it. But yeah, Kalen DeBoer definitely I think has the harder job than Gerard Mayo, in my opinion.
Yeah. For
And
sure.
I don't even think it's really close, to be honest.
Mm-mm.
You following the GOAT, and
Yeah.
on top of that, he was just in the playoffs this year, just won a
And he's still
championship
gonna
in
be around.
2020, and he's still gonna be around on top of that.
Yeah.
So as soon as you lose a game, they're gonna be saying, "Man, bring Saban back." Da, da, da. It's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be Joever. Like it's gonna be bad, man. So I just feel like Kalen DeBoer is in a rough situation, man. One more thing before we head out, actually. I don't know if you saw the rumor today. Y'all know we like talking video games on here a little bit too. Did you see the rumor about college football games supposed to be coming out July 12th? This is a rumor reported by some Florida beat reporter. I'm not trying to disrespect him or discredit him. I don't think the game. I wouldn't listen to that until I hear anything from EA.
No.
I wouldn't. We just fell for the hoax the other week ago with the national championship game.
Yeah, the trailer.
Everybody's like, "Oh, the game! I'm about to take my PTO." Relax. I would wait on taking PTO until till the game actually you get the date from EA. I would listen to some reporter because we did that last time and it didn't end out well.
Nope.
Everybody was expecting something on National Championship Day. We got nothing. So again, I ain't trying to discredit the journalist. He might be right. I think I even said July 12th seems to be the date the game would drop. It was a July 9th pre-order. If you order it early and get the early edition, you'll get it. So again, I would wait on the official date stuff. But I just want to let that be known because I know a lot of people mentioned to me today on Twitter, like, "Oh, Tony, you seen this?" I'm like, "Bruh, before do all that."
Yeah, if it don't come straight from EA, you know what I'm saying? Don't listen to it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm excited about the college football game coming out.
Yeah,
you know me. When that game come out, I'm taking 3 days of PTO and I'm on the sticks. I don't need my girl calling me. Don't nobody call me. I'm on the sticks, rebuilding dynasties, getting my road to glory right. Don't get me wrong. But I would not listen to nobody that is not EA. And I think some guy even came out that works with EA, the marketing side of EA and communication. And he even came out and said, "Yeah, we have not gave a date yet."
Right.
So anybody saying a date, we ain't even discussed that yet. So again, I want to say that real quick before we get the podcast.
I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be like you said. I think July 9th is actually gonna be the date because I think it will drop on a Tuesday. To be honest with you, and I think like you said, the pre-order early access might be on that Friday. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I think you can expect. And July
That's
12th
probably,
could
that's
be
probably
the
what
date.
this guy was doing. He was probably just trying to do the math. Okay,
Yeah, doing the
dropping
math.
every Tuesday of the second Tuesday of July, so it's probably gonna drop on that. I get what he was doing, but until we actually hear from a source that is EA and it's coming from EA mouth, I wouldn't listen to that. Just to be honest.
Yeah, no, not at all, man. It like I be telling people, man, video games, bro. It's the worst industry to really follow and be excited about because you get, I won't say you get your heart broken a lot, but you're gonna have a lot of people like they'll announce a game and they'll go ghost for years and years and years before you hear about it again.
That's
And then when the next and it's just like for example, I give you an example right now, real quick. Me and you could announce a game today, January 16, 2024. You won't hear about the game again until 2026.
Yep.
You won't see the game again until 2028.
Yep.
You won't get a trailer until 2029, and the release date gonna be 2031. That's how bad it is in the game world. You feel me? That's how bad it is. So so for everybody out there, that want the game to come out, it's coming out this summer.
I do believe it's coming out. I think a lot of people
it's coming.
A lot of people saying they don't believe it's coming back, but I actually, because by now they would announce it's not coming out this year. It's getting pushed out because they're within 5 months of releasing.
Right.
So they're definitely, it's coming. The game is definitely,
it's coming.
Everybody saying it's not coming, it's definitely coming because they're within 6 months now of the game. So by now something would have came out saying we're not putting the game out.
Yeah, it's coming in. It's coming this year. It's coming this summer. The dude already said it. He already was like, yeah, it's coming this summer. We're ready. We're excited. We just, they just can't share the information yet. It's gonna be a couple of months. It's gonna be a couple of months. It's probably, I think the earliest,
we'll start getting real information.
The earliest taste of it that you'll get is Super Bowl Sunday.
Super Bowl Sunday. That's what I
anything.
said.
Yeah,
I said Super Bowl Sunday. You might. I think that's the last chance until you probably won't hear nothing until March. If that, I was thinking that too in the national
or after.
I said, you know what? They probably won't drop nothing until at earliest Super Bowl Sunday, which makes sense. That's literally the most eyes in the world on the TV.
Exactly.
I mean, it makes sense.
You might get and like I said, with that, you ain't gonna get no trailer or nothing, but you might get a teaser that just says.
Right.
That just says it might just show the picture EA, the picture that's on their Twitter account, EA College Football is coming back. You probably gonna get like a little small video during an ad that just says be ready this summer or something like that. You know what I mean? But that's it. And you probably won't see real in-game graphics, stuff like that. It's gonna be later. Yeah.
June, late May, June.
It's gonna be later.
Yeah, but man, another really great episode, man. Episode 26 of the podcast. If y'all would love to go back and listen to the podcast version of this, man, we're on iTunes as well, Spotify. You can look up Cam and T. We're right there. We're on YouTube. You can play us back live if you want to actually watch us as well. We're gonna start uploading a little bit more on YouTube as well, just videos in general. And again, I've been bringing this up every week. After the Super Bowl, we're going on a little bit of a hiatus, guys. So we'll do the podcast the Tuesday after the Super Bowl, and then after that, we're gonna kind of take a little break until March Madness time. So probably middle to end of March, and we'll be kind of into the basketball season in season 2 of the podcast. So again, we appreciate y'all's guys' love and support. We enjoy doing this. We enjoy y'all's, support for us as well. So we just want to say we appreciate y'all before we log out. Cam, did you have anything else?
Nah, man. Everybody out there, stay warm. You know what I'm saying? Put your
stay healthy too, bro. It's a lot of cold stuff going on and stuff. It's flu season and cold season, so definitely. And these temperatures keep going up and down, so definitely stay healthy as well. My bad, Kim. So I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good. But like you said, stay warm, stay healthy, stay safe. Remember, we still in the panoramic, y'all. We really are. We still in the panoramic. I heard the death tolls was rising.
Yeah.
And all that. So make sure y'all, do what you got to do to stay healthy
Mhm.
and stay safe out here, man. Because
Yep.
it's real, man. It's real. Watch out
Yep.
for watch out for each other too. Look out for each other.
Yep, absolutely. Well, y'all, we appreciate y'all for joining in tonight, man. We'll be back next Tuesday. Peace, love, and happiness to y'all, man. Y'all share the podcast, share it to your friends, and continue to help us grow. We appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night.